Well, hello, hello, hello. Howdy, y'all. I forgot how I even start this thing now. It's October 3rd, 2018, Wednesday evening at 6:49 p.m. And I just got done doing a whole bunch of stuff. I'll explain that here in a minute. I gotta plug in this here darn phone, okay? I gotta plug it in because it's just about ready to die. It is. I played too much solitaire on it while I was working out. Anyway, it is 88 degrees, feels like 93. The high was 90. The low will be 69. Let's see. Humidity is 52%, 10% chance of rain. Wind is 2 miles an hour from the southeast. Sunrise was at 7:32 a.m. Sunset was at 7:20 p.m. Let's see what tomorrow may bring. 10% chance of rain. The high will be 92. The low will be 68. Sunny. Sunny! Okay, let's get back to our normal thing. Last night, Mr. Heidi made fried rice with the leftover char siu chicken. And, we always have rice cooked. And he had Oriental vegetables that were very, very good. And we used half cauliflower rice, half regular rice. So, he's fine with that. And that way, you're getting half the carbs. So, and look at this horrible bruise. I don't know if you guys can see the horrible bruise or not right here. I know it's a bruise. I don't know how I got it. So, that was very good. Yesterday was my first day on eating low carb instead of no carb. And I felt much happier about it and not near as hungry and everything. I seem to be more of an even kill all day. So, that was good. This morning I got up. Well, in fact, I didn't go to bed till 5 a.m. And then I didn't get sleep till it was close to 6. And I was back up at 8:30. I was up before Brad. And I was sitting there messing around on my phone. I had a message from my doctor, so I went to see what that was. Sign into your portal and read the email. And then I said, well, I ought to just get up and make Mr. Heidi some waffles. He really loves waffles. And I thought, well, I've got time enough and stuff. So I did. And again, I don't regret having tried the keto. It works great for some people, and I think you'll learn from everything. And I learned how to do stuff low carb. Coconut flour is okay on its own. It can be kind of tricky for me to work with, but mixing it half and half with regular flour seems to work really well. Now, you're going to have to add extra moisture to it. So just be prepared, because that coconut flour just sucks up that moisture. You're going to have to use at least double the amount of moisture. And now don't quote me on that, because I don't want a bunch of people mad. But this is what I've found so far, and I've only worked with it just a very limited amount. But this morning I got up and I made waffles, and it called for 2 cups of flour, and I used a cup of coconut flour and a cup of regular flour. Why haven't I gone to almond flour? Because it is a lot more expensive so far what I've found than coconut flour. So that's why I went with coconut flour. Plus, the benefits of coconut for diabetics is just really astounding. So that's another reason I go with it. Now, if you're interested in this recipe, and I found one thing I needed to put here. You're going to need to get out a piece of paper or, whatever, and write this down, because I'm not going to type it out, okay? And this is just my own version of waffles. And I use them with our Belgian waffle maker. It turned out well. I did put it on its highest setting for cooking, just because we like them that way. Anyway, now you're going to want to shift, especially your coconut flour, because it is a heavier flour. You'll see that when you're working with it. You can just use all regular flour if you want. So, a cup of flour, a cup of coconut flour, 4 teaspoons, and that's how it was written, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, a teaspoon of salt, and then 2 tablespoons of sugar. Now, I use raw cane sugar because it's supposed to be better for you than a refined sugar. It needs a little bit of sugar, so that's what I did. Now, you're going to want to mix all your dry ingredients together. And you're going to want to make a well in that bowl. Now, you're going to want to mix in a separate bowl all of your wet ingredients, which are, I use 3 eggs, a cup and a half of milk warmed, 6 tablespoons of butter or margarine, and then a teaspoon of vanilla. Now, I mixed that, I whisked it all together. I poured it in the well that I had made with the dry ingredient. I stirred that all, and you'll see that it's very thick. So I added quite a bit more water. I started with at half a cup increments, and if you've ever worked any with waffle batter or anything, you know about the consistency you want. So I would just recommend that you add it, a half a cup at a time, and then maybe a fourth a cup until you get the consistency that you want. And then I just did it in the waffle maker. Now, I did add a little bit of cinnamon because we like a little bit of cinnamon. And I cleaned and sliced fresh strawberries to go with it. And then we had sugar-free. I like the Mrs. Butterworth. Again, I'm not a paid sponsor of anything, but I like the Mrs. Butterworth sugar-free syrup. So that's what we had, and it was good. I only had one. I'm not a big fan of waffles and stuff, but Brad really is. A lot of times, if he's got a little bit of a sweet tooth, he'll take and heat one up. Because what I do is this batch made probably about 8 waffles. And so I ate one. I think Brad ate a couple. I don't know how many he ate. And he put the rest of them on a cookie sheet, and we freeze them, put them in the freezer, the big freezer. And then once they're frozen, we'll take them off and put them in a bag. The reason we do it that way is they don't all stick together. That way, when he wants 1 or 2 waffles, he can just easily get them out and heat them up. Or if he's got a little bit of a sweet tooth, he'll put, I don't know, a little bit of sugar-free preserves, or, from fresh strawberries, and a little bit of whipped cream, or, we have sugar-free chocolate syrup, sugar-free caramel syrup, and stuff. So, whatever he wants. So, anyway, that's what I did this morning. I thought I'd share that recipe with you guys. Tonight, I want to do something different. We had bought the boneless, skinless chicken breasts, and normally I don't cook with that. And I didn't want to do the oven fried because I'm getting kind of low on my homemade TV dinners. Because Brad takes them every day, most every day for lunch. And so I need to mix some more up. And so what I'm doing is I'm going to cube up the chicken breast raw, and then mix it with a bag of frozen vegetables, thawed and drained. And then I'm using 4 chicken breasts, so I'll probably use either 1 or 2 cans of condensed. Now, we like the mushroom soup. You can use any kind of condensed cream soup you like. And then some sour cream. And I'm going to put some spices in there. The recipe doesn't call for any spices. And then on the top, you go ahead and I mix the stuffing mix with hot water. You go ahead and mix that, and I always throw in a couple eggs. I'll probably put some fresh mushrooms in the stuffing mix also. So you lay that on top of, you mix all your other ingredients, the vegetables, cream and mushroom soup, sour cream and the chicken, all together. Lay it out in your baking pan. Then you're going to want to put the stuffing on top, that you've already done with the margarine or the butter and the hot water, and then if you're going to add any kind of spices or anything. And I'm going to put mushrooms. So lay that on top and bake it. It said 400 degree oven for about a half hour. Since my oven runs a little hot, I'm going to probably do a 350 oven and check it at a half hour. So that's what I'm going to do for tonight for dinner. What else do I have going on? Let me show you this. I don't know if I can get it over here without knocking everything off. Maybe. I did. I have this this tree, and I had lost some of my ornaments that go on it. We'll see on the base I put some of my silly stuff I like. But I just got some of those little plastic rings from, package of them from the Dollar Tree, and the spiders and stuff, and I put on there, and then my friend Joe had sent me some of these little skeletons. So, yeah. So I got my little, and then after Halloween, or when it gets really close to Halloween, I'm going to take all the rings off and put them in with the candy for the kids. And then I'm going to put my tree after Halloween in my bedroom and put my actual rings on it. See my ring tree. And since my room is all Halloween and horror props, it'll go great in there. Yeah. Anyway, let me see. I did just get done exercising. That's why I'm a little jazzed up right now. I did an hour, over 60 minutes, cardio pedaling on my peddler, and I go at a good clip. And what I like is I get solitaire on my phone, like we all do, and I find some stuff to watch on YouTube or the television, and I just go. And before you know it, I actually look forward to it because that's the time of day I get to sit there and play this mindless solitaire game and just watch some YouTube and just kind of relax. So it gives me an hour to do that while I'm getting in my exercise. And then I have some hand weights I did buy. I bought 2 sets for now. And this is 3-pound. They were on an add-on item special with Amazon, and I got a 5-pound set too. And that's all I need for right now. And so I did work out my arms too. I prefer that over everything else. I'm kind of what maybe you call your lazy exerciser. Now I love to lift weights and stuff, but I'm not going to full out on that because of my hernias. I don't really have room. I feel like I don't really have room, and I would have to lock up my dog because I discovered before it's not really safe to lift weights and stuff because you can easily hit an animal in the head or something as you're swinging weights around, So, this works out well, but I prefer to sit down and ride a bike or something. I'd love to get an incumbent bike. Later on, I had one in Wyoming. But that's down the road. The peddler works out great, so it all works out. But probably wonder why I'm talking about that since my doctor said no more keto. My doctor said no more keto because she does it for long range. I mean, I think now there are people that have done fantastic on it, okay? And there's all different eating plans for everybody. So I am not saying keto horrible, don't do it. You do you and I'll do me. And, if it's working great for you, that's awesome. I learned a lot on it. I learned how to use coconut flour. I learned to really love cauliflower rice, and stuff. I've learned, things like using more zucchini. Like when I do our potatoes now, I do not just strictly potatoes. I used to do just potatoes in the oven. And now I'll do potatoes, onions with green pepper, and I'll do zucchini all mixed in, and I'll cook that all together. So you might be having potatoes, that's serving a potato, but now it's cut in half because the rest is vegetable. You're still full. It's tough. So, and my A1C, that's what my doctor's message was about. My A1C was down by 2 full points, which means a lot. It was a 9.9, and now it's a 7.9. It's getting lower. It's not right where we want it to be, but it's getting a lot better. And I had no signs of infection. Yay! I've been drinking a lot of water. And also one of the things, and That's why sometimes I walk around more swollen than I want to be, which actually causes me more joint pain. But she and I were talking about it. She said, the water pills are very, very hard on your kidneys. And so is potassium chloride. And I didn't know that because I was telling her I only take the water pills. It's supposed to be daily. I only take when I absolutely need to. And that's when she was saying. And so it means a lot to me that I don't have another UTI. That, because I'm really pushing eating a lot healthier and water. I haven't even finished my morning coffee. This is still all the way full because I already drank over 50 ounces of water with one of these. And I just started using it. It's called G Fuel. You can get it on Amazon. Just type in G and then Fuel. And they have all different flavors. You just put one scoop. I think it says an 8 to 12 ounce glass of water. I just put one scoop in here. It's sugar free. They have all different kinds of formula. I picked the energy because, who couldn't use a little more energy? And what it is mainly is a whole lot of vitamins. It's basically the B's, all the B's, and I already take a B complex, but can't use energy drinks with the caffeine because caffeine puts me to sleep. It doesn't have any caffeine in it. I really like it. It's the formula I got was the lemon lime because it was like $10 cheaper than the other formulas. Because it's like $20 a container, but that's for 40 scoops, and so that's 50 cents. Think about what you pay on energy drinks. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. I'm not giving up. I'm just going low carb, and which I feel better about, and I am really pushing the exercise. That's why I'm riding the bike for so long, doing the pedaling for so long. When I started this, you guys, it was hard for me to even do 5 minutes. And then I just slowly kept increasing it. Now I'm up to an hour. And I'll stay to an hour. Now, over time, I'll start adding more tension and stuff. But, yeah, I mean, walking better, back doesn't hurt as much and stuff. Last week was really painful. And then I realized that toward the end of the week, I started doing more of the exercises and I wasn't in as much pain. One of the things I wanted to talk about real quick, and then I'm going to go in and paint for a little bit before I need to start dinner, is addictions. I come from a family, like so many of us, that have addictions. And in my family, there's addictions of both kinds, but especially my father's side. Addiction to alcohol, addiction to drug. So I thought, and there were on my mother's side as far as alcohol. So I thought that I was being safe because, I saw I saw a little bit what drugs can do to you, but mainly I saw what alcohol can do to you growing up. So, of course, yeah, I've always been very, very aware and a little bit afraid of, like, alcohol and stuff. Never messed with drugs. I think I tried pot a couple of times when I was very young, my young adulthood, and that was it. Never tried anything else. The reason I'm telling you all this is you think you're safe, and I've always had a weight problem. Like I said, I was put on my first diet when I was 6 months old. But you think you're doing okay, and then you realize that what your addiction is, we're talking about transference addiction. Me and a friend of mine. So, and I particularly see it with a lot of people that either lose a lot of weight or have weight loss surgery and lose a lot of weight, is they'll move their addiction from food to something else. Well, then you realize, yeah, I'm an addict. And I have to be careful because what I did essentially was I moved my food addiction when I was in my teens to an exercise and bulimia. And then I fought especially the bulimia through most of my life. I know I could never do it again, how I did it with laxatives, and it's messed up my system permanently. And if I did it ever anymore, it probably would kill me. But you move your addictions from one to the other, and sometimes I think that in some ways, perhaps, having a food addiction is even harder than some of the other addictions because, and just hear me out and forgive me if I'm being insensitive, and I know some of you disagree, and I mean no offense. That's not the monkey on my back, so maybe I shouldn't say that I think it's harder than being addicted to alcohol or drugs. The difference is, though, you can stay away from drugs. You can stay away from the alcohol, but you always have to still be present with food. You have to still eat the food to fuel your body. And then so much of our culture is wrapped around food. The holidays are all wrapped around food. I mean, look, it's fall time and we've got pumpkin everything. Okay, pumpkin itself is good for you. And the caramel apples and the Halloween candy and I'm not being hateful. I'm just saying, it's something you're always going to have to be very aware of. But yeah, I mean, my doctor and I were talking about this and, being addicted and stuff. And I know a lot of people have the weight loss surgery and initially they do well, but they don't realize and stuff that you have to work just as hard as anybody that hasn't had the surgery, because it's not a cure-all. It's a tool, as they say. So, but I'm not ever giving up on, I guess the best news my doctor could have given me, because when she tells you stop the keto, even though, I'd lost some good weight. I'd lost approximately about 10% of the overall weight I need to lose. And you think, well, crap, she wants you to stop it. Yeah, I was hungry and sometimes hangry even and stuff, but, her knowing long range, that for me being a diabetic and stuff, she doesn't feel it would be good, was telling me my A1C was down. Telling me that I was infection-free right now. It's like, that's wonderful. That's a wonderful starting point. That's a wonderful starting point. Because I don't want to have a stroke if I can prevent it. I don't want to have a heart attack. I don't want to not be able to walk any longer if there was something I could do to help it. Or if I couldn't walk that day, it was just because I didn't feel well. Or that the asthma was acting up. It's kind of like, we're getting another handicap placard, but it's here in Florida. And it's a permanent one. And it is for me because of the severe arthritis and the asthma and stuff. Some days I have no problem walking and we don't use it that day. Some days I do. And there's some days that Brad is in a lot of pain too. Because she said, I can give you each one. Because, we both qualify, or, I put in either one of your names. So, and we decided me, because, anyway, not giving up. I'm going to keep. Another reason that I pedaled for so long, that if I can have a few more carbs, if I can have 15 grams more of carbs and make myself satisfied, and I have to work out a little bit longer, I'll do that. I'll do that. And every time I work out, it increases that metabolism and stuff. And that, long range that keep working on in your body. So, anyway, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I'm not perfect. I'm never going to be perfect. I'm always going to fight the battle of the bulge. Some days the other night, man, I'm not even going to kid you guys. The other night I carved out hard. The night of the 1st, after we got done with the doctor and stuff, I did buy some chocolate peanut M&M. Oh, I sure did. And I think I had like they're not real big, but a bag of pork rinds. I had a whole lot of peanut butter. I did have Subway that day. And I tell you what, by that night, my neuropathy was so bad in my feet, I couldn't sleep. And I couldn't sleep because my body was so jacked up with so many carbs, basically at night and stuff. Couldn't sleep. And I was in a lot of pain. And my stomach was super upset. And I'm like, oh, what the hell are you doing? So, but like I said, I'm going to slip up. There's going to be some times where you want to say, F it, I'm going to have pizza. F it, I'm going to go have a hamburger and french fries. But I figure that's going to happen occasionally, but if for the most part you're eating how you're supposed to be eating, it's all good. Because, I think a lot of these meals and stuff are intended for you to occasionally have, not have all the time. Because as we all get older, most of us can't eat like we did when we were teenagers. I mean, Lord. Brad used to have one of his best friends used to be able to eat everything in sight, which really was discouraging for Brad. They met before Brad and I hooked up. And he said, it used to be so discouraging because him and his friend would order the same thing. His friend never gained an ounce, and Brad always fought his weight too. Well, add 20 years to that, yeah. Well, when his friend hit in his 40s, then, yeah, he couldn't do that anymore either. He had to start really watching it. So, anyway, I hope you all are having a great day. And remember that I love you guys. And I do cherish your friendship so very much. And I think you're awesome. And I will talk to you maybe tomorrow, I think. If not, because I just didn't have anything really going on. Oh, and the hats went out today. So they're on their way. So, talk to you later. Bye.